Good evening. I talked to my brother Paul last night. He was a 1978 graduate. I said, Paul, Mom's coming to this thing tonight, and my wife Carolyn. I said, Grace will be there. I said, it might be a nice thing to come over to Brother Rice. And my mom been away for a little while. And he said, I got cut. All those coaches cut me. So he said, The second thing I want to say is that you see these baseball nets here. This used to be Coach's Temple, okay? And you didn't mess with Coach's Temple. So I know when I was here, these nets were up in the balcony, so they kind of block our banner. And it's kind of, you come to a game here, it's kind of, the lights don't see real well here at Captain Court. But I know Coach Rikers had a heck of a program in baseball, so. But Coach was athletic director here. I would like to have been in that room. Negotiate these nets. But, anyway, my wife's warned me not to go off track too much, so let me get going here. To President John Burney, Principal Dave Kozlowski, Athletic Director Reg Cavender, fellow Brother Rice alumni and Brother Rice community, I am pleased, honored, and humbled to talk about a man I've known for almost 40 years, Bill Norton. Bill Norton was my basketball coach at Brother Rice. Coach became an instrumental part of my life, a positive role model, and lifelong counselor. Coach Norton's Brother Rice highlights are summarized in tonight's program. Just some quick history about Coach. He graduated from the University of Detroit in 1962. His 1962 football team is enshrined in the UD Hall of Fame. Coach was a backup quarterback, much like Coach Picasso was at Michigan State. After graduation, he started working at St. Mary's on Clemens. He taught biology, was a football line coach, JV basketball coach, and head baseball coach. A few years later, he applied for a position at a new high school in Birmingham called Brother Rice. He interviewed with Brother Taffy, the athletic director, and Brother Hill, the principal. He was hired as a head basketball coach, offensive line coach, and biology teacher. He became athletic director in 1968 and was the head football coach in 1969. He hired Coach Picasso a year later. Coach Norton would go on to win 323 basketball games with Brother Rice, 6 Central Division championships, 12 district championships, 5 regional championships, 3 Final Four appearances, a state runner-up in 1977, losing to Matthew Johnson overtime, and 1 state championship for schools first in 1974. Coach left Rice in the fall of 1981 for a 1-year stint at Michigan State, in which he had a very positive impact on the Spartan program. Coach returned to Brother Rice in 1982 and stayed for another 17 years. He became the head basketball coach again in 1995 and promptly led the Warrior basketball team to the league championship with an 8-2 record, taking a team that was 1-9 the year before. Coach Norton was inducted into the Catholic League Hall of Fame. He completed his coaching career down the road at Grove, bringing 3 district championships and 2 league championships to a school that had not won any kind of basketball championship in 30 years. Bill Norton helped put Brother Rice on the national athletic map. He was the first suburban coach to take his teams down to St. Cecilia in the summer. I asked some former players to share their thoughts about Coach Norton, and here are some of their comments. Coach was a hard worker, great teacher, was very organized. Coach conducted well thought out practices, usually with daily practice sheets that he would hand out in the hallway off the blue mimeograph machine. He had thorough scouting reports of opponents and their offensive and defensive tendencies. His competitiveness rubbed off on his players, and he had a great understanding and knowledge of the field of basketball. He was willing to spend endless hours trying to help kids develop, took kids to summer camps, and conducted his own 3-week voluntary summer camp. Coach had his teams better prepared, had us running cross-country meets, lift weights, do special jumping exercises, and use visualization techniques. He was simply ahead of his time in many aspects. Coach Norton talked about his kids, Jessica and Nathan, a 1992 Brother Rice graduate, and often used them as teaching point examples. Someone said he was a kinder, gentler Bobby Knight. He was dispensing tough love before there was an Earl Woods. Earl Woods is Tiger Woods' dad. He knew almost everything about his players, what made them tick. He knew names of their parents, siblings, friends, and girlfriends. Former players still call his house, seeking advice and just wanting to hear his reassuring voice. He ran a complete program, being involved with freshman JV and varsity teams. He tried to include as many people as possible. There were usually 2 freshman teams, and each team had at least 15 boys. Even the trainers and managers were given specific duties. Many of his managers, such as Bruce Berger, David Benedictus, who I saw tonight, Kevin Wickstead, who's unfortunately passed away, Tim Gargaro, Mike McCabe, Don McLaughlin, to name a few, became very successful in their careers after college. Coach has a special wife in Vivian. They've been married 43 years. She is charming, funny, and been very supportive of Coach. I don't know of any other woman who's been to as many basketball games as Vivian. I would like to refer to 2 of Coach Norton's favorite passages that he often recited to his teams. The first passage, titled, "The Road Not Taken," comes from Robert Frost. This is the last of the 4 stanzas. "I shall be telling this with a sigh. Some were ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." Second passage comes from our 26th President, Teddy Roosevelt, titled, "The Man in the Arena." Here's an excerpt from that speech. "The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marked by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who at best knows, in the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat." Coach Norton has always maintained his calling in life was to be a teacher. I've met and observed many coaches in the pros, college, and high school levels, and he's the best basketball teacher I ever came across. When we won a state championship in 1974, he sent a letter to everyone on the team. I still have the letter, and the other letters that followed. I noticed that the letters that followed, the budget must have went up after we won a state championship because he started to put his, he had his name embossed on some of the station. But the first one was just basic orange, so. We were very lucky that Coach Norton decided to coach and teach at Brother Rice for 34 years, and I'm very thankful to have played for such a great coach and teacher. So I'm pleased to introduce 2009 Brother Rice Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Coach Bill Norton.